Hi, nice to see you again. So this is video number 2. I'm still here, and I haven't given up yet. Anyways, since we're still in the introductory phase of this little shindig, I thought today might be a good day to tell you my name. Well, not just my name, but all my names. So in English, Korean, Japanese, and Spanish. And through this, I can kind of explain some of the differences between names in each of these languages and each of these cultures too. So today, I'll talk about my English and Japanese names, and next week, I'll go into my Spanish and Korean names. So see, my English name is Patrick. Chances are, you all already knew that. But in America, and probably all other English-speaking countries, we usually have a first name, a middle name, and a last name. Patrick is my first name. It means nobleman. Actually, I don't think most Americans really care or know about the meanings of their names so much, but I looked mine up last year when I was teaching my students about names. So Patrick means nobleman. My middle name is Sean. It's actually the Irish version of another popular name, John. So John and Sean are actually basically the same name. The difference is John is from England, Sean is from Ireland. So Patrick also is an Irish name. That means I have a super Irish name. In fact, my Uncle Gary often calls me Paddy Sean the Leprechaun. Only he's allowed to call me that. I'm not giving you permission. My last name is Owens. It's Welsh. But if you add an apostrophe right there, it also looks Irish. Owens. So, Patrick Sean Owens. That's my beautiful name. I like it, although I don't use it that much. My mom uses it more than me, usually when she's angry at me for locking the cat in the laundry room or doing something else to her. I don't like cats very much. I'll explain that later, maybe. But to be honest, I usually don't go by Patrick. It sounds a little bit too dignified or respectable. So instead of Patrick, I usually go by Pat. Pat is also a good name. It's a noun and a verb. It can also be a boy's name or a girl's name. And actually, according to Google, most people named Pat Owens are 50-year-old women. Huh. Anyways, for you English speakers, a lot of this might already be pretty obvious. What might not be obvious is that I usually have to change these names when I'm abroad to make them more understandable. So you see that "a" noise in Pat, the "a" in Pat doesn't exist in most other languages. It's kind of an uncommon phoneme in a lot of languages. So for instance, in Japan, you don't say Pat as Pat. As I said, they don't have the "a" phoneme, so my "a" gets transformed to an "a," like in Spanish. In fact, all Japanese vowels sound the same as Spanish vowels: a, I, e, o, u. So because of that, Pat becomes Pat. Second, with the exception of the letter N, it is impossible to end a word in a consonant in Japanese. Every word has to end in a vowel. So Pat becomes Pato. And of course, they would never write Pato in English. They would not write P-A-T-T-O. No, Japanese is insensibly difficult. So Pato looks like this. This is Pa-to, there. This alphabet is called katakana. Japanese has 3 different character sets, but foreign names and foreign words are always written in katakana. The second and more important alphabet is called hiragana. Hiragana is used for grammar and general spelling. The third character set is called kanji. Kanji is made up of Chinese characters. Japanese names are always written in kanji, so foreign names are always written in katakana. Japanese names are always written in kanji. Kanji is really interesting. It's not phonetic. It's not an alphabet like the other ones. It's basically just Chinese characters. So each of these has a different sound, but you don't know what the sound is until you learn. So Pat becomes Pato. Pat becomes Pato. And Patrick also becomes Patoviku. Not important. Owens also becomes Owens. So, now, you might know that in Japanese, the family name comes before their first name. So generally, it'd be like Arai Takayuki. Arai is the family name. Takayuki would be the first name. Sorry, Taka, if you're listening to this, to use your name. If you're a foreigner, though, I suggest that you don't reverse your name. So in Japan, I wouldn't call myself Owinzu Patoriku, even though that might seem appropriate. Um, Most Japanese probably already know that we say our family names last, and secondly, if they don't know that already, they almost certainly won't know which name is your first name and which name is your last name anyways, so don't worry about it. Also, maybe some of you want to know if you should get a Japanese name or not. That is, a Japanese name in kanji, one that doesn't sound like your English name. Uh, Honestly, if you say you have a Japanese name to other foreigners, you'll sound kind of like a douchebag most of the time. That being said, you're probably not learning Japanese to appease other foreigners. You're not learning to talk to other foreigners. So if you think having a Japanese name helps you integrate more easily, try it out. But I would definitely recommend having a native speaker make a name for you and not choosing one for yourself. Um, Anyways, I guess that's all for today. But before we go, I have a question for you. It's a very simple question. Uh, what is your name, and are there any special features to it? Is there anything interesting about your name? So next week, I will be talking about, I guess, why every girl in Argentina has the same first name, and why I have a Korean name, and what it means, and how I got it. So I guess I'll see you later.